Hello sports fans, and welcome to yet another edition of MSU Sports Circle, the defining voice in all things sports. I'm your host Tyler Smith, joined as always by my good colleagues Matt Johnson and Justin Neely. Fellas, the first discussion today, no surprise, we've been doing it all season long, college football. We'll get right off into things. Justin, I'll start with you. Hit me up with some good news, bad news.
Good news, LSU still number one. Shouldn't be a surprise. Bad news, I'm going to say South Carolina lost their running back, Marcus Lattimore. I mean, that's definitely going to take a hit. He was the centerpiece of their offense. He was their momentum. He was the face of that team. I mean, 818 yards, 10 touchdowns. They have a great quarterback this year, and losing a great running back is definitely going to take a hit to the team. Without a doubt. Now that Lattimore's out, that opens up the Heisman race wide open for other running backs. And that, like you said, it's a huge shot to South Carolina because now they have to depend on Garcia. And we talked about this before the show. I don't know that South Carolina can necessarily afford to do that at this point in the season. Well, Matt, I'll talk to you. What's some good news, bad news on your college football spectrum?
LSU is still undefeated, and that is, and I'm going to say that's more than good news. It's great news because it's going to get a setup for November 5th when they played Alabama Crimson Tides. And that's, I have to say, it's great news.
Now, what's your bad news?
Bad news, there's only one thing that stands out. My man just said it. I'm just going to go on and insist them. This man, Marcus Lattimore, is still out. This is a team with him in the system. Steve Spurrier really had a chance to compete, maybe win out the SEC, maybe even go national title. Without him, I don't know. Or the same team, we will see this coming this week. I don't know.
That's a good point. Lattimore is a key missing puzzle piece to this Gamecocks offense. But guys, you talked about LSU still being undefeated, and I'm glad you brought up the Alabama game. I don't know about you guys, but I am stoked for that matchup come November 5th. It's like we talked about, it is going to be a battle between speed, defense. Matt, you had a point to add?
That looks like it's going to be on paper. Just on paper, I know anything can happen, but on paper, that is the best game in college football this year, fellas. I really believe so.
Justin, would you agree with that?
We'll see. I'll say on paper, yes. Well, whether it plays out and we'll be satisfied and be able to call that the best game this season,
on paper,
that's still to be determined. On paper, I'm going to agree with you.
On paper.
But when the game is in play, then we'll see that.
You're going against his old former team, Nick Saban. It's going to be crazy. I'm so excited. I'm very excited.
All right. Without a doubt, that matchup is going to be probably tops in college football. But speaking of tops in college football, we have yet again our college player breakdown. This week we're going to focus on Alabama running back Trent Richardson. This guy is an absolute beast. Justin, can you get the people familiar with exactly what he did?
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. Beast mode. That's what he does, game in, game out. This man has over 900 yards, 15 touchdowns, and averages almost 7 yards a carry. That's almost a first down every time this man touches the ball. Now, as we were talking before, with Marcus Lattimore out, you could say he might just be our Heisman shoo-in.
I think he's my Heisman shoo-in. I mean, he was a bowling ball on Saturday, and that defense was the pins. He was knocking them down left and right. Matt, your thoughts on Trent Richardson's performance?
Fellas, you're finally getting the message. I said this episode 1. Trent Richardson will be your Heisman. This is the guy he's not actually new to the football world. He's really not. If you'd have seen him last year when he backed up Mark Ingram, you've seen how good and productive this man is. So this guy's he's an absolute warrior. Guy scares me. He's just powerful and just runs through the hole with this authority. I would not dare get in his way.
Absolutely not. Because I'm glad that you brought that up because his power alone is absolutely impressive. This man can squat over 600 pounds. That's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that's more than the three of us combined, and he does that with ease.
With ease.
He's got top-level net speed power, top-level next level speed. I think he's an absolute Heisman candidate.
NFL teams, watch out for this man. He's coming for you.
NFL defenses, watch out. They don't want that.
No, sir.
They don't want anything that Trent Richardson has to offer, but you're going to like what we have to offer in discussion, too, coming up after the break here on MSU Sports Circle.
Hey, what you got there?
This is a list of school supplies that I need, and I can't find them.
Why don't we can find them?
Okay, great. The university books.
That's right, they got everything.
Wonder if my packages come in. Sweet, it has.
How can I help you today, sir?
Yeah, I got a package.
What's your dorm address?
811 Cartmel.
811 Cart. See your student ID, please. All right.
Welcome back once again to MSU Sports Circle. Guys, we're on our second discussion now. We'll move from college football and go to NFL. I'll ask you guys, other than Detroit and Buffalo, and Matt, I'll start with you. Who are some teams that have surprised you this season?
This team, I cannot believe they are this productive. And I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. Fellas, who would have thought we would be 5-1 and first in the NFC West right now with a new coach? And this is a man that Jim Harbaugh, I didn't think he would be that good starting off, I'm going to be honest, because I really don't have faith with a lot of these college football coaches coming up in the pro level. But they are so productive. What is going on? Alex Smith, I wrote him off being number one pick years ago, and I thought he was never going to be good. Frank Gore going through, just blowing through, getting, 500-something yards, 4 TDs. This is unbelievable.
Absolutely. The San Francisco 49ers right now are on a roll. They beat Detroit, who were unbeaten. That was an impressive win for me if you're San Francisco. That makes a statement in the NFC without a doubt. And I think you're right. I think Jim Harbaugh has had not necessarily a lot to do with their success, but he's gotten them on a successful path.
You know what I think it really is? I watched a little bit of NFL Network from time to time, and I've seen behind the scenes of this guy. I think he just brings this heart and this determination. I don't even think it really has to do with X's and O's. In the pro level, it's not really about X's and O's, because you got to really think, these guys are making more money than you, they're more established than you. Why do they need to have you coach them? It's all about respect. It's all about respect, fellas. If you have that, all's the limit for you. It really is, and I think that's what it is. They believe in them. They bought into a system, and we're rolling, and I love it. Let's keep on going with it. Let's get back to the 90s, San Francisco. I love it. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, where are you at?
All right. I hear you on the 49ers, but Justin, who's another team that you think has surprised some people this year?
I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to pronounce a name right, seeing as how everyone wants to jump on me. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals. 4-2. Dalton has over 1,300 yards, and Green with 450 receiving yards. Now, that's not what's impressive to me. What you need to look at is arguably top 3 best defenses in the league right now. I mean, offenses, no matter the team, I don't care what club comes into that dome right now. You don't want to play the Bengals. The Bengals. You don't want to see them.
You do not want to play Cincinnati right now. Like you said, they have a top 3, arguably top 2 defense in the league. Andy Dalton is playing like a starter, not a rookie, like a starter right now. People wrote this team off to not even win 4 games, and they're 4-2, gentlemen. Cincinnati is the truth right now. You couldn't have said it any better. I absolutely agree. Now we'll move on from there. Matt, I'll ask you quickly, which player is having the best season so far?
Once again, this is another surprising NFL season for me, fellas. The player that is being the most productive and the best player on, I'd say, at least on offense, Mr. Calvin Johnson. Unbelievable. 36 receptions, 564 yards, 9 TDs. Audience, it's amazing. How all of a sudden he's this productive? I'd say hands down best player right now in the NFL. Unbelievable.
Megatron is certainly transforming.
This is a beast.
I like that nickname too. That's a great nickname.
It's scary. It's scary. You hear that? It's scary. I don't want nothing to do with that, man.
No, you don't. Justin, is there another man that you want to have nothing to do with on offense?
I have to disagree with Matt. I'm going to say McFadden. 610 yards, which he leads in the NFL. Even though he only has 4 touchdowns, it's what you got to see what he's doing. He's finally coming out of his shell. He's running over, going under, going around, and he's catching. Right now, he's unstoppable.
All right, and we won't stop, but we'll take a short break after this commercial here on Sports Circle.
For students living both on and off campus, come check out the new POD store, located in Alumni Tower. POD store is a great way for students on campus to go grocery shopping without leaving campus, or for students looking for a place to spend flex dollars on drinks, snacks, and supplies. Remember, if you're by Alumni Tower, visit the POD store to the right of the catwalk for products on demand when you want them.
Are you feeling helpless? Do you have a lack of motivation? Are you stressed out? We want to help you.
Welcome back once again to MSU Sports Circle. At this portion of the show, we have our MSU Weekly Recap, where we recap all of MSU athletics. Right now, we'll talk about the MSU Eagle volleyball team. Devonna, they're off to an absolute fire start right now. They are 11-0. Did you get me familiar and get the audience familiar with why they're so dominant right now?
They are amazing right now. I really think they're going to go on and bring us home an OVC championship. I really do. The coach led them there last year, and I think in the past, and I really think they're going to go hard again this year. This past game, they were amazing, just quite amazing. Even though they started off a little slow, Ellie and Emma, they started off slow, but Erin Bohannon, she picked it up by elevating her offensive game. And that really opened up things for Emma and Ellie and Laura to give some great points. And so that was really good. I thought that the freshman Alex Fuller, I think that was her name. Filler. She was amazing. She was really good for a freshman, and she was really making some key points. So especially to put her in for Coach Gordon, to put her in on some clutch calls, it was really good.
Absolutely, and those are some good points because Erin Bohannon had OVC Player of the Week this week.
Yes.
That was very impressive, and like you mentioned, Gordon had them in the OVC championship game last year against Austin Peay. They lost. I think they're hungry. I think this is their statement, and I think this is the season that they come back and win an OVC championship. I really hope that we can do that. I'm excited for it. I know you're excited for it, and I'm sure Matt and Justin are as well. We'll move on from volleyball to soccer. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. Devonna, what's wrong with the MSU soccer team?
They need to panic right now. Definitely panic. Because last week what I said was they need to stay calm and just go ahead and finish out this season good. But right now, after that game against Eastern Illinois, I am very afraid. Very afraid. They need to panic like crazy. I mean, even though they were only outshot by Eastern Illinois by 15-13, the Panthers had 11 shots on goal, while MSU only took 4 shots in the game. And it was nuts. They really need to get this because we are in jeopardy of losing that OVC tournament.
We are. Right now, we are in the 6th and final spot for the OVC tournament with only 3 games left to go, 2 of which against conference. And with that said, it's crunch time right now for the MSU Soccer Eagles. I talked to Coach Lipka today, and the way that he worded it to me, they're just strictly missing opportunities left and right. So hopefully they can capitalize on that this weekend against Longwood on Sunday. Now we'll go from there to the MSU football Eagles. More disappointing news. I'm not even going to further say how disappointing it was. Devonna, take it away.
Oh my goodness. What a great leeway to that. While you were saying about soccer, which is missing points, football, they missed 40, let me correct this, 43 unanswered points. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? Defense is just ridiculous. They just need to strengthen. This weekend, I think we'll do, good against Dayton because we have won against Dayton in the past. But seriously, we give up way too many yards. And honestly, I think John McGregor was just way too much for Moorhead. It was
absolutely right. They gave, like you said, 43 unanswered points. You cannot do that and expect to win a ball game. But I think you're right. I think they have a chance to win against Dayton on homecoming and hopefully share the MSU fans some more heartbreak. They've had enough already this season. So best of luck to you, football Eagles, against Dayton. Very quickly, we'll close out this segment talking about the Big Blue All-Stars and the Kenneth K. Time for Reed coming back to MSU tonight at Johnson Arena. How important is that for this region?
Very important. We don't have to drive an hour and 15 minutes just to go see these players. I mean, it's going to be Kenneth Reed, DeMarcus Cousins, Brandon Knight. I mean, and it's only for $15. How can you miss out on this? This is going to be amazing.
I think it'll be a very good game, especially being at Johnson Arena in Moorhead. Very important for this region. A lot of Big Blue fans here in Moorhead. I think they're going to have a great time. It'll be very exciting, and I can't wait to watch. I think it's going to be a very good contest. And we'll have a good show coming right up after this break here on MSU Sports Circle.
So you know what you're going to do now?
Well, I just got out of class.
Hey guys, there's a Halloween costume contest going on. You want to go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back once again. You're watching MSU Sports Circle. Guys, we're in our third discussion now. Matt, this is a subject that I think will excite you. Justin, I know it's going to excite you. College hoops starts off this Friday. We'll get right into it. It's getting underway eventually. Matt, I'll ask you, who are some teams to possibly look out for? I know it's early.
Yeah, like you say it's early, but just on top of my head, doing the readings I've been looking at, and other analysts, you just got to go with your North Carolinas. You got to go with your Kentucky. UConn, Syracuse, Ohio State. It's the only things I really have off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Not too much.
Understandable. Now, Justin, with those teams that Matt just listed, which one of those are you the most excited to see, if not all of them?
I'm not really excited to see one team. I'm excited just to see this whole season. It's not the diaper dandies per se that's exciting me. It's how many players actually stayed. And on top of the recruiting classes that these teams brought in, you got your Ohio States. Sullinger, reports are saying he's looking better than ever right now. I mean, keep in mind he is a face forward, but he plays center. No telling where he's going to be. He might play the 4, he might play the 5. Then you got Lamb in UConn. It's a new era. I mean, Kemba Walker's out the door. You still have Napier. You still have an excellent supporting cast. Well, I feel almost disrespectful by calling them a supporting cast.
Sophomores. I know everybody, like you said, are looking out for these diaper dandies, but the sophomores might be the best we have seen in years. You mean Perry Jones, Terrence Jones, Sullinger, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Lamb. The fellas, the list just goes on and on. I'm just so excited. I can just jump out of my seat.
And might I add about Harrison Barnes, the thing that's exciting me about Harrison Barnes and Sullinger, those are my 1 and 2 right now. That's my jab and my hook.
1B.
Right there. He took the words out of my mouth. I'm going to keep it like this. Harrison Barnes, to some, was written off as what we would call AAU superstar. He came into college. We said he was overhyped. He didn't produce. End of the season, we saw glimpses of brilliance. Now, is that ball going to keep rolling this season? Is he going to become unstoppable? We don't really know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with all these clubs.
Absolutely. Now, I hear you guys talking a lot about players, and you're absolutely right. The sophomore class this year is going to be through the roof, and then you've got diaper dandies that will scintillate people left and right. So the youth coming up, they're rising. I absolutely love it. But I'll ask you guys, what are some of the teams that might surprise people? I know it's early, but what are some teams that might shockwave you? Matt?
The word you just said, and I'm sorry, it's early. It's early. You really cannot say there's really only, I say, maybe 5 teams on paper that we just know, or like I said, we expect to come in with a right hook and playing hard-nosed basketball. I really can't say.
Now, I got to rock with Matt. It is a little early. College basketball is all heart, hence the tournament. You see top teams, Kansas per se, that get bumped out notoriously by mid-majors. But if I could pick one that would hurt feelings, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm a little biased. I'm going to say Morehead State University. I know it was the end of the Kenneth Reed era last season, but we've proven we can hurt feelings. We have some new JUCO transfers. We got great guard play in Terrence Hill, who was a major part in that U of L win. Look out.
Miami, Ohio transfer Drew Kelly will finally come in and start this year. And I think he will fill the shoes for Fareed.
I'm very confident in him. He's a banger.
I think Coach Tyndall has the tools to keep us rolling. And I think this will be a season. He is going to come out hard. Be like, you know what? You think I'm not going to be good just because I lost Devontae Harper and Kenneth Reed? Nuh-uh. OVC, watch out. And you want to watch out, especially for Moorhead, because we have the non-conference here is unreal. West Virginia, what is it, Penn, College of Charleston?
Yes, sir.
This was probably the best non-conference schedule this school has seen in years, fellas. Watch out for the Eagles.
Absolutely, without a doubt. We can't wait to watch the Moorhead State Eagles play basketball. Keep it locked right here after this commercial on MSU Sports Circle. Welcome back once again. This is discussion 4 here on MSU Sports Circle. Guys, we'll talk about not the MLB playoffs, but now the MLB World Series. Now, Justin, I'll start with you. Give a little recap of the American League Championship Series for us, if you wouldn't mind.
A lot of people, with this series, a lot of people are sitting at home right now saying, what happened? I mean, we had a terrible, terrible, terrible third inning. We thought we had this in the bag. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Cruz happened. I mean, this Mr. Home Run, Mr. Clutch, ice in the veins, you can't see me, can't touch me, be like me, but you can't. I mean, he was amazing. This man had a clutch home run back-to-back in both 11s. I mean, when you have a player playing on that level consistently in clutch performances such as this, the whole team's going to rally and they're going to hurt feelings. That's exactly what happened. So now that those who are asking what happened, thank Cruz. It's just that simple.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you made that point because I'd like to believe that Nelson Cruz is a guy on that team that doesn't always necessarily get enough credit. And he has been a big key anchor for that team. Like you said, back-to-back home runs in the 11th inning. Who does that? That's superhero.
I mean, he's a quiet superstar. That's what I like to call him, quiet superstars. Superstar-type players who do not get credit, don't get shine, and don't want it. But when it comes down to playing the sport, get out the way.
Absolutely. Now, I'll ask you, though, how important is it for the Texas Rangers from an emotional standpoint with players like Josh Hamilton?
With Josh Hamilton, it's extremely important. I mean, you need I tell people this no matter the sport. Emotion makes up the majority of your performance. I mean, it really does. So when you can feed off of one player, a coach, in basketball, you say your fans can be your sixth man. If you can feed off of individuals of any type, it's going to elevate the level of play.
Absolutely. Now, we'll move from the American League Championship Series and we'll go to the National League Championship Series. Matt, get us caught up with what the St. Louis Cardinals did.
10 and a half games on August 24th. On the going to the World Series. What's his name? Albert
Pujols.
Albert. It's a creative. I love this guy. These St. Louis Cardinals. I've been with them for the past couple weeks, and I'm just going to continue to be on them. This team is just amazing. I don't know what it is about these boys, but they're just amazing. The rate they're going, I do not see them being stopped. I really don't.
It's hard to say that the Cardinals could be stopped. I mean, they won 12-6 against a good Milwaukee team. Albert Pujols was absolutely dominant, and I'm glad that you brought up that point. They were 10.5 games back on August 24th. Now they're in the World Series. You want to talk about comebacks? That is epic.
I don't care if you're 20 games back. I really don't. It all comes to heart. If you have that, it doesn't matter. If you're at least eligible to get to the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything. Don't count it off anybody in these playoffs. And and you see what St. Louis Cardinals have done. It's just, I love it. It's amazing.
You can't argue with results, but I will ask you this for argument's sake. Real quick, who you got? Justin, who's winning the World Series?
I'm not exactly sure. One team, this is the second year they've been there back-to-back. One team, you do got Mr. Witty's Fuel, as y'all kept talking about, Albert Pujols. I can't pick one right now, but I will say this will be an emotionally charged series, and it will be, it's going to be amazing for the fans.
All right, Matt, who do you have? You going with the Cardinals?
You took the words right out of my mouth. St. Louis Cardinals. There's no stopping them. There's no stopping these guys. None.
All right, certainly a good bandwagon to jump on if you are a baseball fan. We'll be right back with the close of the show after this break.
When you got some homework and you need a place to go. When you're working on a project and your computer is slow. There's a little place on campus that I think that you should know about. The first story of the library is what I'm talking about. Walk past Java City and then you will see the new commons area is where you should be. They got computers and printers, couches, tables and more. It's the perfect place to go for study time galore.
Welcome back. We've come to a close once again here on MSU Sports Circle. We have some previews for you once again in both college football and the NFL. Matt, we'll start with you. Give us some NFL matchups you're excited to see.
I'm real excited about my Detroit Lions, and I'm going to say why. Because I kept saying, and I'm going to keep saying until somebody shuts me up, Calvin Johnson, 5-1. Repeat this, 5-1. I just cannot believe they're that good against your Atlanta Falcons, which is 3-3. They're a solid team, but I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. That's all I want. It's short and sweet. The Detroit Lions will beat them. That period. Why would they beat them? Because they're going to keep rolling until somebody shuts them up. I don't care if they have one loss. Period.
All right, so Detroit against Atlanta. Anybody in the AFC that you could see coming out?
This is the only game I'm worried about, to be honest with you. That's it. And it's because of the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions.
I'm that impressed with them. I'm going to follow them until the end.
All right, so sticking with the Miracle in Motown.
Miracle
I like
in
it.
Motown.
I like it. Now, Justin, we'll go over to college football. Are there any matchups that you see that jump off the page?
You got a couple matchups. You got Auburn, LSU, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Now, Wisconsin, Michigan State, you got Russell Wilson and company. They have a solid running back duo against emotionally charged right now Michigan State coming off of a win. So how that's going to play, we don't know. It will be a dogfight. As far as Auburn, LSU, Auburn, due respect, they got decent defense, good offense. They're going to make it happen, but LSU will come out on top.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good point because the LSU-Auburn game is going to be a good SEC matchup, but I think that Auburn is just going – they're not the same Auburn team that went to the national championship last year. They're just not. We have to live with that. But LSU, I think, will take full advantage of Gene Chizett's defense. It'll be scary just how good LSU can be. And then I'm glad you brought up the Michigan State-Michigan game because they lost for the fourth straight time to Michigan. That was bad news for Michigan. But Michigan State, they're like, hey, you know what? We got Wisconsin coming up this weekend. Watch out for the Spartans.
Let's play.
Let's go, right? Well, I guess that brings a close to our show once again, gentlemen. We had a pretty solid show today, I think, as a whole. We talked about a lot of good sports. Matt, I know, but you're a convinced Detroit Lions and St. Louis Cardinals fan.
I'm just convinced. The 49ers in Detroit, this amazing this year. Amazing.
Without a doubt. And I know that you guys are excited for college basketball, and we'll have that for you coming up on the next episode of MSU Sports Circle. Thanks for watching.